I paid $10 plus shipping for this eBay eBay seller sent me a little thank you card. Thank you, Raina. I don't think you're watching this, but this bag of miscellaneous cones of white yarn. This is my MFA thesis right here. I just have to knit it up. I am here for my last MFA residency before my final thesis presentation in January. This is my last semester of my master's program. This is my last summer residency in Iowa. Hello, YouTube. We are in migraine land tonight, and I was hoping to get a lot of work done on my final thesis show. I've been in bed with a migraine all day. I'm honestly not surprised. I kind of had an idea this would happen, but I was desperately hoping it wouldn't. Grad school is hard. It's challenging, it's difficult, and that's sort of the whole point of a master's degree, is that, you know, you have to really, really work, and it's a real accomplishment. And I have to say that now in my 40s, this is probably really the first time in my life that I could have been capable of doing this, of completing a master's degree, of completing my MFA. And MFA is a terminal degree, so it's technically the equivalent of a PhD, but it's for, you know, like fine arts. And it's hard. It's really hard. It's been a lot of work, and I'm looking forward to finishing, so that then I have that degree and can get a better job. But also I'm really hoping to kind of have that time and energy back and try to recover my health. And, you know, just, I'm looking forward to the future. I don't know what the future holds. There's a lot of options open for me, and a lot of potential ways I can move forward into the future. And I just kind of have to get there. I have to get there and start making these decisions. I'm incredibly proud of my accomplishment of being able to do this. I have really struggled with school. I have always really struggled with school, in spite of the fact that in like high school I got good grades. I really struggled in school, and I think it was mostly because of just not having the right kind of supportive environment. Went to college, and that was, every time I've been in college, it has been a struggle, because I've just had to deal with living in the real world and not having the kind of support that you really need to be able to, you know, get an education full time. My second time, when I was in art school, I had like the money that I had inherited from when my partner died, but also I had to deal with the fact that my partner died and deal with that estate, which was a problem for years, and deal with the grief and the trauma of having gone through, you know, watching my partner die horribly in front of my eyes. And so it was a different kind of struggle. And now, you know, getting my master's degree, I kind of got this degree so I could find a job and have some money from financial aid. And immediately my roommate in Sacramento threw me out, and then I was, you know, homeless for the first semester of my master's program until I moved in here. And it's been not as bad as it could have been, but it has been a real struggle trying to work to keep up. It's been a real challenge. I mean, school is hard. School is hard, and I totally understand why people drop out, and that's fine. I think there's a lot of pressure to go to school and get an education before people are really ready and have their lives in order enough to be able to do that. That so many people are kind of like just thrown out there, and the schools, especially in your first 4 years of college for your bachelor's degree, schools expect the parents and the family to be funding and supporting the student. And a lot of times that doesn't happen. That students don't have that support. Either their family just can't support them, or they're older and you married and have kids or whatever. And I don't think it's really acknowledged how many people really have to work and struggle to get through school, and how many people simply can't or don't want to. And that's totally fine. That's absolutely fine. You should only get as much education as you want. Any and all education is valuable, no matter if you complete a degree program or not. All education is valuable. It is never wasted money, but it is difficult, and there are many ways to learn and grow and accomplish without having a degree. And also expecting people when they're so young to go to school, I just don't think that's really practical. I really believe in only getting as much education as you need for your immediate goals, and allowing yourself the space to grow and go back to school in later years. Absolutely every single job that I had in my 20s after getting my first bachelor's degree, every single job that I had is gone. It is obsolete. It no longer exists. The 2 office jobs that I had, after I left those jobs, they didn't fill my position. They just closed that position down. I was not replaced after I left. And the 3rd job, the entire business closed. The entire business failed because of changes in society and technology and economy and law. And so by the time I hit my 30s, I really needed to get more education and to bring myself more up to date and to get some more new different skills. And so I did that. And as I started trying to start my life as an artist, realizing that at this point in time in my life and in society, I needed a higher degree. I needed a master's degree. I needed an MFA. And if I had not gone for an MFA, I, should have gone for some other type of master's degree in my 40s. So each decade of my life, I have needed to go back to school and get more education because of how much has changed and how quickly things have changed. And just to be able to keep up with what I'm doing, I've had to continuously upgrade my education. I don't know what's going to happen in another decade. Am I going to need to get a PhD? I hope not. I really don't want to. Every time I finish school, I'm like, I'm never doing that again. I'm not going back. And then now I've always gone back. So I don't know. It's I think it's the millennial generation may be having this problem, because when I think about my older mentors, they had a very different experience. And when I think about like Gen Z kids now, a lot of them are not pursuing education, and honestly, I kind of applaud that, to not be pushed into an education you don't want, and to wait instead until you're older and recognize the value and the need for it more. I'm glad to be finishing my degree, And so many people in my life, I cannot believe how many people in my life have suggested that I drop out of school. It's been wild. It has been absolutely wild. When I complain about it's so hard, I need more time, I'm anxious, I'm stressed, I'm whatever, and they're like, oh, well, just, postpone, just drop out. I'm like, I can't just postpone. I can't just I can't take a semester off in this program. This program is like, you get in, you do it, and you finish. And if you need time off, then you're out, and you probably can't go back. You'd have to go to a different school. This is, honestly, it's been kind of a pattern in my life that when I talk about doing something difficult, so many people in my life suggest that I stop. And it's like, why? Why? Just because something is difficult doesn't mean that it's not a worthy goal, that it's not achievable. I mean, being challenged in life is, I think, normal. I don't know. It's been a little concerning about how many people in my life has responded with like, oh, well, maybe it's just not meant to be. And it's like, I'm making it happen. I am making it meant to be. This is, the power that I have over my own life to make things happen, even if it's difficult, even if I bitch about how difficult it is. I have the power to make these things happen in my life. And now I'm finishing with my degree, and I am so tired. Hello YouTube, Kodandi here. It is Christmas, and after Christmas comes New Year's. And on January 2nd, I am getting on the Amtrak to go out to Iowa for my final thesis show. So, as you can imagine, I'm maybe a little bit freaking out. I'm still trying to finish my thesis project. And today I received in the mail my camera. So I have been needing to get better pictures of my art. I feel like my bedroom just keeps getting smaller and smaller every day. But I bought this camera so I can get better pictures of my art. It was not the camera I wanted. It was extremely not the camera I wanted, but it was the camera I could afford. I used it once and it never worked again. And by the time I took it back to the camera shop, it was one day too late for their return policy. And so they contacted their distributor, and I had to mail it back to the distributor for them to like fix or whatever. I don't know what happened, but a brand new unopened camera just arrived in the mail. Apparently mine was actually profoundly broken, which it's just been frustrating. It's been so frustrating. I need to be applying for like artist opportunities and art shows and artist residencies, and I can't even get good photos of the artwork that I am doing for my thesis show. So this is the camera that I got. It is a point and shoot, which I did not want. I wanted like a fancier camera. But I don't know. It's gonna be Christmas in the city, so maybe I'll just go take pictures or something. I don't celebrate Christmas. I'm Hindu, and everyone is poor. No one is doing anything for Christmas this year, or the people that are doing things for Christmas are like not doing them locally. So I don't know. I'm gonna test out my camera, see if I can get any good pictures out of this thing. Hello YouTube, Kodandi here. This is my final trip to Fairfield, Iowa for my low residency MFA program at the Maharishi International University. I am in some ways very, very glad to be done and very glad that this is my final trip. But it's also very, I don't know, very bittersweet. I've had a really positive experience here and in this program. I'm very glad that it is a low residency program and I don't have to live in Iowa full time and that I can just, commute for the 2-week residencies. But it is really beautiful here. A lot of people shit on the American Midwest, but the American Midwest is incredibly beautiful. And people are very polite and very helpful and very considerate. They might not be as friendly as we are in California, but they're, a lot of really good people here in the Midwest. This town in particular, Fairfield, Iowa, is, it's interesting because of the presence of the Transcendental Meditation Organization and because of the presence of Maharishi International University. This town, or at least this part of town, is very much a utopian community, that people built this school and built this section of town. Like, there's people that aren't involved in meditation that have lived in this town for however many hundreds of years. But for the people that are a part of Transcendental Meditation and that live here to participate in programs and whatnot and to really live that lifestyle, this is very much a utopian community. When they built this campus, it was with the idea of this, new enlightened age, living in a utopian community, even if only for 2-week chunks at a time, it's been really interesting. And, there's some very real, interesting culture happening here. In addition to sort of like the general Midwest, Iowa prairie culture that exists in the town. It has been a positive experience. I have enjoyed my time out here. I am extremely thankful that we will most likely not see any snow this time. I am not a fan of snow. And so I'm hoping, just to like finish up and have my happy memories of this place, because it has been, it's been really memorable and it's been really happy. And it's been a very positive experience for me. But also, once I leave, I'm not coming back to Iowa. It is entirely unlikely I will ever be in Iowa ever again in my life. So I'm just going to enjoy it while I have it now. I've been thinking about a 5-year plan again and a 10-year plan. And it is requiring a real shift in the way that I think about myself and my abilities and, what's possible in this world. I've been reviewing a lot of my old YouTube videos just to kind of see the progress that I've made and the points that, when things happen to really create this shift. One pattern that I'm noticing is that I've really just sort of let things happen, right? That instead of planning, that I just sort of hope for the best, deal with it when it happens. And I feel like that's a very like kind of traumatized PTSD way of thinking about the world, where for such a long time, I felt very unsafe and unstable and uncertain in the world in general, in my life. Now that I'm going to be graduating in January, and in my seminar course, in my MFA seminar, we're talking about what do we want to do after graduation? What are our plans? And I have some plans. I want to have plans. I want to plan and set a goal and work towards that goal, and not just sort of like hope I have a lucky day, because I mean that's just a very powerless way of experiencing the world. Just, you know, standing in the river and letting it hit you and wash you wherever it goes, instead of like actively swimming. I don't actually know how to swim, but you know, you get it. It's a process. It's really, really a process. And there's a lot of things that I have to let go of. Ideas about what things should be like. Ideas about how things are in the world. Really these, kinds of ideas that I'm realizing are limiting me. That just because I've only experienced things, in a certain way, doesn't mean that they are only ever that way. And especially now, like, I am old enough to have seen a lot of society and economics and politics and culture change so much. Like, things really change. And just because once upon a time I experienced it one way doesn't mean that I will need to or should plan on experiencing that same thing. And even in terms of being freelance and self-employed, just because my past experience of it has been very unstable doesn't mean that I necessarily have an unstable future if I continue freelancing and being self-employed. I mean, I really do want like a real job. I very much want employment. So we'll see. It's been a year. It's been a lifetime. I should have known that grad school would be this difficult. I should have known that grad school would be this time consuming.